In this video, I'm gonna share with you how I built a multi-seven-figure company by building an incredibly high-performing team. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Claudio, owner of WinRate Consulting and host of the Big Stud podcast. I've mentioned a couple videos already. If you have not seen, the Champion Circle registration is open to the public. We always lock it down to existing clients first, but now it is open for the public. If you're interested in getting coached in 2023, if you're interested in just having a conversation, if we're a good fit for you or if you're a good fit for us, go to the website, check it out. It's a $34,000 investment for all of 2023, which includes 26 coaching calls, 4 two-day events, 2 in-person events throughout the whole year, and then obviously a community of like-minded people to get you around some people that you want to level up to and really just improve upon the way that you run your business and your life. So that's open right now. But building a high-performing team. If you have not followed me for a while, I have about 14 employees total. 6 of those employees are CEOs, like they run their own multi-seven-figure companies. And if you want to talk about managing high performers is difficult, CEOs suck. They're needy, they're fucking opinionated, they got all these ideas, we're never moving fast enough. Running a team of CEOs is hard, but all 6, and we'll be growing that number to 10 this year, they're all CEOs. They're all business owners, entrepreneurs. And those are guys, in theory and concept, some of the highest performers out there. Not all entrepreneurs and business owners are high performers. Most of them suck. Ours don't. They're great. But it's difficult to not just build, but maintain and keep a high-performing team. So first, I'm gonna do 3 points on this one. First, you have to be the attractive character for high performers, which means you have to operate as a high performer. Like you have to build a process, a routine, an image, even the content, right? What story are you telling has to be around high performance. And there's not a single way to do that. There's not a single definition of high performance. There's some introverts that are incredibly high performing. There's some extroverts that are very high performing. There's some, unique people, athletes, non-athletes. There's not a standard, we'll say, avatar for high performance, but you have to be it at all times. If at any point people can't trust that you're actually a high performer, they're not going to trust to be a part of your team. Winners want to win. Winners want to be a part of a winning team. A players want to be around A players. So if you want more A players, you got to be an A player. If you're attracting C players right now, I would start looking in the mirror. Are you taking care of your health? Are you taking care of your family? Are you taking care of your kids? Are you taking care of your company? Are you taking care of your body image? Like, are you brushing your teeth? Did you put have you shaved this week? It might seem silly to you, but if you're not portraying high performance, you're not going to attract high performers. Even in just the consistency of effort, right? If you've been following me for any period of time, I release 2 or 3 podcasts and 2 or 3 YouTube videos a week for the last 3 years. I don't not deliver. I never under deliver on an expectation. And I promise you, I don't always want to do that. Like I'm sitting here with this dude for the next 3 hours. We're gonna shoot 24 videos. I'm like, I don't fucking want to do this. I don't. But there's a standard I've set of performance that high performers know you don't always want to do it, but sometimes you just have to. You don't have a choice. That's what high performance looks like. High performance isn't, I want to be great all the time. It's, I'm going to be great all the time no matter how I feel, right? So I think when you look at somebody who doesn't take care of themselves, is inconsistent, you've caught them in lies, those are people that an A player is not gonna wanna be around you. Vice versa, if you can be consistent, if you can take care of yourself, if you can be what I would consider a total package approach to life, I'm not great at business and I'm on my 3rd marriage. I'm not judging people who get divorced, but that just shows a lack of consistency. It shows a lack of delivery. It shows some general things that high performers who want to stay married may not want to be a part of. And look, there's a lot of people who've gotten divorced that are high performers too. I'm so tired of putting disclaimers in these damn videos because of you trolls. But there is not a single avatar to what high performance looks like, but if you are not attracting high performers right now, my first plan of action for you would be look in the mirror. Where are you under delivering in your own standards that you can take control of, and then it'll increase the quality of the candidates and the people that you start to attract. 2, once you find these people, once they are attracted, you want to keep them, right? Well, the best way to keep them is to show them why being a part of your mission is important to them, the what's in it for them. And I will tell you right now, it's not money. Money is part of it. They have to know that they can support their family, they have to know they can do some things they want. But I will tell you right now, all of my CEO coaches, they're on commission only. They only get paid. So when they first started here, they first signed up as a coach there was no guarantee of income, but they showed up and they delivered, and that's why their income has grown. But money's not the biggest thing. It's impact, it's influence, it's authority, it's quality of life, it's quality in the workplace, it's enjoyment of the process. This is where we're going, and this is the role you play, and when we get there, this is what you're gonna have. Or here's your process and progress of progression through the ranks, right? Some people want leadership roles. Some people want to be appreciated differently. Some people want to make a bigger impact in the marketplace. Whatever it is, you have to understand that high performer has a reason that they are going to show up when they don't want to. And that's how you find and keep and get and maintain high performers, is they will do the work no matter how they feel. They just will. One of my coaches got hit with a hurricane, and his house got destroyed. And he still went to Orlando 2 days later and spoke from stage, represented the brand well, still got his coaching calls in, still ran his business. He doesn't know what he's gonna do yet because he doesn't have a house to go back to, but he's still doing his job. You can't do that if that person doesn't understand why they're going to do it. And you have to understand what it is they want. High performers have a very clear vision, typically, of what they want in life, not just in their business, but outside of life. I believe if you're growing a business where people's life is to work, I think you're going to attract the incorrect people. I think you have to understand people work to have a life, and you have to have that approach. You have to have that balance. You have to have that flexibility in routine, flexibility in approach, flexibility in location sometimes. But there has to be a standard. You have to hold them to the standard. I've talked about that already in other videos, but you have to have a very clear understanding of who they are, what they want, and where they want to get to. If a high performer shows up and then they say, well, I want to be able to lead a team of 12 sales reps one day, and you don't have a plan to have a team of 12 sales reps, you should not hire that person. Even though they may be the best suited for you short term, they will not enjoy working for you long term. And most of us are building long-term strategies for our business. So get really intentional understanding who they are, what they want, where they want to go, and how you're going to get them there. I do that with specific onboarding questionnaires for employees. It's very specific onboarding training. I use 30, 60, 90-day progressionary processes to make sure people ramp appropriately and I understand them better. And then I do weekly check-ins. Sometimes it's weekly, sometimes it's bi-weekly with all of my key high performers. It's not everybody on the team, but everybody on the team is on the team calls every week where I pour into them. But I have conversations with people at least once a month, twice a month, maybe even every week around how you doing, where are you at, are we moving in the right direction, am I holding you to a high enough standard, are you evolving enough to maintain part of the mission? And if the answer is no, I'm gonna fire you. And that's not, I look at it as I'm setting you free to go find something that you can be passionate about, because I'm not here to just pay you money for half-ass effort. We either full-ass or we no-ass. There's no half-assing around here. And that's the rule we operate by. We go full-ass on this stuff. But understanding that high performer wants to know that there's an outcome on the other side of the struggle, the sacrifice, the effort, the discipline, the mental toughness, that there's a reason they're doing that with you. And it's not for you. I think this is a common thing. Oh, will you work for me? If you ever fucking look at me and tell me, well, Mike, I sign your checks, you're not gonna need to sign any more checks for me. I don't work for anyone. And I've had some leaders pull that on me because I was a high performer and I worked really hard and I had a lot of success. And that success came with me wanting my opinion to be heard, and it wasn't. And when I would push back, I would get put in my spot and they would lose me. Because the minute you put me in that position where I work for you, no, a high performer works with you. There's a hierarchy, there's a chain of command, but high performers need to know that they're working with somebody, not for someone. That way they're bought in, they feel a part of the strategy, they feel a part of the tip of the spear, because that's where the high performer wants to be. And then third is the accountability side, right? So we've attracted the right characters, we've onboarded them, we've understood what they want, we've sold the mission really effectively. We've used personality tests and core values and onboarding strategy to make sure that we have the right people. Now the accountability comes in. You as a leader need to look, I agree, I feel, need to look for ways to have conversations most people are not willing to have. I'm going to attack any reason that a high performer may not be able to maintain performance. If you're not doing a good job in your exercise, I'm gonna call you out on it. If you're drinking too much, I'm gonna call you out on it. If your standards at work are dropping, I'm gonna call you out on it. If your body language isn't right, I'm gonna call you out on it. And not like, dude, get your shit together. It's like, hey man, I'm seeing this. This is what I'm perceiving, help me understand. But I think if you're not proactively holding those people to a higher standard, they eventually will burn out and not want to be there anymore. Because maintaining them is the key. You don't want to constantly be replacing employees all the time. You want to be able to attract, onboard, train, and hold accountable to make sure that everybody is continuing to evolve. I said it earlier in another video, but if the mission is going like this and you hire somebody here, right? This person might be ahead of where you are now, but as you continue, if they don't grow, that delta, right? That gap between where you are and where they are now, I'm gonna make sure you keep up because I'm moving fast, right? My business is evolving quickly. Between 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, my business grew 300% every year. And put that into context, it was like 100 grand to 300 grand to $1 million to 3 million. Like that's the progress. And next year, we're actually gonna take a little bit slower growth year to stabilize a little bit and prioritize profit a little bit more. But like 2023 will not be as big of a percentage of growth, but that's massive growth for most companies. Which means we've evolved very quickly, which means we make changes quickly, which means we're improving the client experience on a more rapid pace, which means the employees have to keep up. This is where I think people have a misconception of high performers. They actually need more standards than everybody else. I'm gonna tell you why. Someone who doesn't give a shit if they're high performing or not, or exceeding expectation or not, or they're gonna come in and they're gonna work hard to their standard of hard no matter what. A high performer wants to know, needs to know what the standard is so that they can exceed it. They need to know they're living up to expectations, need to know because they stress about it. That's part of what makes them a high performer is they're hyper focused on meeting and exceeding expectations. Well, if you don't give them a lane, you're just like, hey man, you were killing it over there. You're here now, good luck. Talk to you next month. They're gonna fail, they're gonna flounder. Like, what the hell happened? This dude was such a high performer. It's because someone probably gave him very clear standards and expectations so that person knew when they were meeting and exceeding expectations. So high performers actually need more of a lane, more standards, more performance KPIs than a non-high performer. It's just the truth, because non-high performers don't care if they're exceeding or meeting. They're gonna do their best they can and they're gonna go home. They're gonna work 9 to 5 and they're gonna collect their paycheck, and that's okay. Like, every team needs some B players. But if you want that, keep that high A plus player, that high delivery, high expectation, you got to give them high expectation. You got to hold their ass accountable to it. Those are the tough conversations, right? Because that person's typically opinionated, probably good at talking, probably great with words, probably emotional. Those are people, because that's what keeps them high performing, is they're addicted to the grind. They're addicted to the growth. It's your job to pour into them. You cannot be too busy to meet with your high performers on a regular basis, or you will lose them. Because you can't, you got to attract them, you got to onboard and train them, and you have to maintain and retain them. And the best way to do that is continue to pour into them, continue to evolve them. I do that through one-on-ones. I do that through performance reviews. I do that through quarterly SWOT analysis. I do that to make sure that I'm holding them to a standard no one else ever has. And that's why that's why myself, Mike Claudio, and WinRate Consulting gets the results we do with other CEOs and business owners, because I'm going to hold you to a standard that you didn't even know you were capable of, and I'm going to help you get there. That's what high performers want, and that's what keeps high performers coming back. Yes, there has to be monetary value to that effort, but it's not what's going to keep them. Money is not the number one motivating factor for most high performers. So understand that, build a system around that, build a process around that, and you'll continue to attract, onboard, and retain high performing teams so that you can get your mission to the next level. Because all I want is for you to win fast and win often.